Hi, everybody. This is Nathan Weens, the apprentice nutrition detective. It's July 4th, 2023. So happy Independence Day, everybody. It's been a long time since I've done one of these health updates, and actually, this is going to be a testing update as well. I just recently had some tests last month. So first, I'd like to apologize for taking so long to do this. It's been a challenging 6 or 7 months since my last update. I had some work issues that seemed to be pretty serious to start with. And then shortly after those started getting resolved, I got hit with a complaint from the state medical board um, about a patient for possibly overprescribing. Turns out that it actually wasn't the patient himself. It was somebody else. Um, Still not sure exactly who. We think maybe a pharmacist who just didn't like what we were doing. In any case, uh, that was quite stressful, dealing with that and worrying about, am I going to be able to keep my license and keep my job and be able to support my family? And um, and that lasted, wasn't resolved for a few months. So that actually didn't get resolved until I think either the end of March or beginning of April. So that was stressful, and as a result, um, had a pretty stressful time, and unfortunately, I had got a little depressed, not terribly, but somewhat, and unfortunately, that meant that I, for the most part, stopped exercising. I continued to train in the martial art that I practice, but otherwise, really didn't do any other kind of exercises, and ended up not eating as well as I would have liked. I'm one of those people that tends to use food for comfort, and so as a result, I've gained some weight. I've gained about 25 pounds since about this time last year. So that's been frustrating, and working to see how I can bring that back down, get back to eating, better than I have been. I've still been doing okay in terms of not eating really high vitamin A foods, at least not very often, but still eating junk food occasionally, and um, you know, stuff that I advise other people not to do. So I'm working on it. It's not always easy. So that's one of the struggles that I've been dealing with. And then trying to get enough energy to exercise as well, because on the plus side, I've been seeing clients for a few months now, and just been having a wonderful time. I learned so much from all the clients, and everybody that I've worked with has been wonderful. So I'm I'm so grateful to be able to do that, and truly feel blessed to have this opportunity. So, uh, for the clients that I've seen, thank you so much. If I'm seeing you coming up, I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully you are too. If you are interested in working with me, I'll put a link down in the description to the page where you can sign up for the consultation package, and I certainly hope you do. Uh, so some bad things, but some good things as well. So I feel like I'm kind of back on track. Um, I'm getting there anyway, and I've got a ways to go, just like the rest of us. So I hope you will come along with me, and see, and I hope that you can learn from my challenges as much as I'm trying to. So let's see. Okay, so some stuff about seeing clients and some scheduling things. Um, Actually, I think we'll save that for the end. So I'll talk about that at the end, what my schedule's like right now, what it's going to be like, and some other stuff that's going on in terms of my seeing clients as part of the Love Your Liver program. So now I want to get into the part that everybody is interested in, which is my test results and kind of what I'm doing. So what I'd like to do is start with my daily regimen, because I know that's a question a lot of times people ask is, what am I doing? So this is pretty much what I do in terms of supplementation. In the morning, Life Extensions Bifido, GI Balance, 2 capsules, 25 milligrams each. And that seems to be still working pretty well. So I haven't reached a point where I've earned a mixed biome yet. So I still got to supplement with the Bifido. I'm also doing some Mozyme Forte. So molybdenum, 150 micrograms in the mornings, as well as 4 tablets of 99 milligram potassium gluconate. And in addition, I'm doing 20 large sprays. So I have a little trigger bottle. So I do the full trigger rather than the pump. 20 sprays of that of Magcahol. And the way that I do it is 5 sprays on my chest, 5 sprays on my stomach, 5 sprays on my low back, and then 5 sprays on my knees, both knees, because I've had some knee issues. So that's my morning supplementation regimen. In the evenings, usually after dinner or at bedtime, I'm doing 2 Keystone Minerals, 1 lactoferrin, an additional 30 milligrams of zinc, and then 1 full scoop of sunfiber and 1 full scoop, both of those would be about a tablespoon of activated hardwood charcoal mixed together. So the sunfiber and the charcoal I take together. So in terms of big minerals, my daily intake, selenium is 300 micrograms because of the 2 Keystone Minerals, molybdenum 450 micrograms, so the 2 Keystone Minerals plus the additional 150 micrograms, and then 90 milligrams of zinc. And I've been doing pretty well on this. I haven't noticed any problems with copper. I could probably go up even a little bit more on the zinc, but more than that is pushing the envelope probably a little more than I need to. So, but 60 or 90 milligrams of zinc seems to be working relatively well right now. When we get to my test results, we'll talk about kind of where I'm at and how things have been going with that. So, but I did want to start with to let you know with what I'm doing, so you have an idea when we get to the numbers how this is affecting me. All right, so that's the regimen. So let me go to the blood testing. Move this out of the way. Okay, so vitamin A started at 62.5. My last test in November was 55.2. It's now 52.8. So it's still going down a little bit. Overall decrease of 9.7. So that's good to see. It's not going up, but like I talk about with clients and like Dr. Smith talks about, it's really just kind of a way to track sort of where I'm at, not really changing anything that I'm doing. But the fact that it has gone down is a good sign. It's probably plateauing at this point, which is sort of what I expected. And it'll probably stay fairly high, either stay in the 50s or start dropping slowly as time goes on. So we'll see how that goes. But copper, first test was 94, went down to 85, and now is an 81. So It's in what we consider the normal range. It's down a total of 13 points. So I'll just hopefully keep chipping away at that, and eventually it will continue to go down and be good. So zinc. It started off with a 92. The asterisk is that I actually accidentally took zinc the night before this very first test, so it's probably a little higher than it should have been. My next test was 85, so a little more accurate on that one. And then this last test was 109, so I'm actually up in the optimal range for zinc, which is really exciting. So I've my overall change is 15, an increase of 15 points. So I'm quite happy about that. I'm really glad that the extra zinc is helping. Ferritin, for any of you who know anything, this number should be kind of scary, this 877. I was talking with Dr. Smith about it, and he thought that was probably the highest that he'd seen. I don't know if he's seen one higher since then, but so I have a bit of a distinction. I'm not sure if it's a good or a bad one, but it's there. So anyway, so that's where I started, 877 on my ferritin. Dropped to 515 in November and dropped again to 472. So not as big a drop. I have been doing regular blood donations every 8 weeks. So I think, but my overall change is actually down 362 points. So I'm quite pleased with that. My suspicion is that the blood draws have been helping, but because I haven't been doing as much exercise as I was doing before when I got this 515, I think that's the reason that this most recent test isn't down lower than it could be. I was reading some research saying that exercise, particularly intense exercise, tends to use up iron in the body. Obviously, if you're breathing heavy, if you're sweating, you're using more hemoglobin, utilizing more hemoglobin, which is where iron is mainly used. So I think once I get back on track with my exercise and start exercising more often and a little more intensely, I should see that number come down a bit more as well. I don't know if that's the case. That's my theory. We'll see if that actually pans out or not. But like we talk about, just doing the Love Your Liver program, eating low toxicity foods will allow your iron levels to normalize on their own. So I'll continue doing the blood donations just because, one, I don't, they don't make me feel bad. I don't get tired or anything after them. And because I have type O blood, it's a help to my community. So I really enjoy that part of it as well, being able to contribute in that way. Okay, so the big one that I'm quite happy about. So last time in November was the first time I tested my testosterone. It was 185, which is below normal. And it has gone up to 272. So almost 100, well, 87 points, which is awesome. This is something that is gratifying to see on many levels. One, it does help me feel like, okay, I am making some real progress here. And more importantly, it's another data point that for men, the Love Your Liver program helps you increase your testosterone without having to take testosterone, without having to use any artificial boosters, or any of the other crap that in the long term makes things worse. So for men that are listening to this, it helps. and it's bringing up your testosterone levels is going to increase your overall health. So even though I haven't been as diligent with the program as I would have liked, again, particularly in terms of diet and exercise, I have been pretty religious about my supplementation. I take the supplements pretty much every day, and just making sure that my body has the building blocks that it needs, I think is probably one of the reasons why this has increased as much as it has. So, I'm hoping that when I'm 5 years in, like Dr. Smith, I'll be up around 900 too. I'm a few years older than him, so maybe not quite that much, but guys, if you want to boost your testosterone, this is the way to do it. So, you know, if you're doing the Love Your Liver program, great. If you haven't signed up for a consultation yet, or even decided to do the do-it-yourself program, testing to know where you're at in terms of your mineral levels is really important, and this is one of the reasons why it's important. So I would strongly encourage you, if you haven't done so, go ahead and sign up for a consultation package with either Dr. Smith or with myself, and we'll help you get on track with this. And then estradiol, 24.2 is 23.5. So it's in a good range. It hasn't gone up, which is the only thing that I would be concerned about. So even men need some estrogen in our system, not much, but we do need some. So like I said, my numbers are looking pretty good in terms of my blood work. The zinc was very nice to see, that I'm in the normal range with that, and the testosterone number is also quite exciting. So I'm very pleased with my blood work. Okay, so moving on to the hair test. Oops. Okay. All right. So calcium went from 64 to 59, so it went down a little bit. Still, optimal range is about 40 to 42. A little bit above that, but still looking pretty good. I always look at the strontium, because that should be, visually speaking, about the same as the calcium. Those tend to go up and down together. It's a little bit lower, so it's possible that I have a bit of hard water contamination. So this might actually be a few points lower than it appears to be. But more or less, it's probably pretty accurate. In any case, magnesium went from 9.8 to 8.7. So down a little bit, but most importantly, the magnesium is significantly higher. The magnesium bar is significantly higher than the calcium bar, which is what we want. The calcium is protective, or the magnesium is protective against the effects of calcification of excess calcium. So you just want to make sure that your magnesium is higher than your calcium, and mine is. So that's good. Sodium stayed the same. Potassium stayed the same. Copper actually dropped from 3.1 to 1.4, so that's exciting. My zinc actually dropped as well. It went from 19 to 15. And my phosphorus, which is, I sort of think of it as kind of long-term zinc storage or long-term zinc status, also went down a little bit. It went from 17 to 13. We like it 14 or above. So on my hair test, my zinc actually went down some. but my blood zinc was good, and I'm taking a pretty, you know, a pretty healthy amount of zinc. I'm taking 90 milligrams a day. So the way that I'm interpreting this, particularly with this drop in copper, is that my body is detoxing, and I'm feeling that. Uh, but as a result, it's using more of the zinc that I'm taking in. So the fact that I'm taking in such a significant amount, um, my zinc numbers aren't off the charts because my body is utilizing the zinc in the detoxification, the oxidative processes of detoxification to get rid of this stuff. So even though this is lower than optimal, and it did drop, the way I'm choosing to interpret this, and I might be wrong. If anybody's got any other ideas, please let me know. But I think it's just that my body's using it. The fact that I've got a significant amount of my bloodstream is a good indication that it's probably just being used for these oxidative processes. So I think this is probably going to come up eventually, but still in a good spot. The zinc's higher than the copper, which is what we want. So iron went down a little bit, went from 0.9 to 0.7. Manganese about the same, chromium about the same. Selenium actually dropped slightly. Went from 11 to 9. But again, pretty close to the normal range, which is 10 to 15. So I don't consider that a significant drop. I'm still taking a good amount of selenium. I could probably take some more, but again, I think it's getting used. Boron, we don't worry about. Cobalt stayed the same. Molybdenum also dropped a little bit, which is interesting considering I'm taking 450 micrograms a day. So I'm taking a fair amount of molybdenum. I'm taking it. I think I mentioned this previously for some athlete's foot issues, and that does seem to be getting better slowly. Think about particularly fungal type things is they tend to change relatively slowly. So, the fact that this is down a little bit, it's still in the optimal range. It's we like that between 4 and 8, and it's still 4. So I'll continue taking the 450 micrograms of molybdenum. I could probably take even more. And if the next test is about the same or a little bit lower, I may consider doing that. Selenium, I'm okay with where it's at. It's close enough to normal that I'm fine with it. Sulfur stayed pretty much the same. So nice thing is uranium dropped some, went from 0.346 or 0.0346 to 0.0110. So pretty significant drop. It dropped by about 2/3. That's an indication that I probably was dumping some uranium. I'm sure we've still got some in the water here. I know. I'm using a reverse osmosis for drinking water, but haven't gotten to the point where I can afford a whole house filter yet. So, but that's a pretty significant drop. So I'm pleased with that. Arsenic, beryllium, mercury, cadmium, lead, aluminum all stayed about the same. So those are looking pretty good. None of these other minerals, all kind of in the normal to lower ranges, so nothing to sweat there. Calcium magnesium ratio, which is the one that we pay attention to, stayed pretty much the same. It went from 6.5 to 6.7. So up a little bit, but it's still in that optimal range of 3 to 7. So my numbers are looking pretty good. Toxic ratios we don't mess with. Additional ratios we really don't care about very much. So even though I fell off the wagon a little bit in terms of food and haven't been as as adherent to the program as I would like to be, I'm still doing okay. So, like Garrett says over and over again, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I had some struggles, but I'm I'm very pleased that I was able to maintain my supplementation regimen, which I think really helped with a lot of my numbers, including the zinc and the testosterone as well. I think that helped that also. So, even if you're struggling a little bit, do the best you can and don't give up. That's one of the big lessons that I've taken from this is that, even when things were tough, even when I was feeling a bit depressed, even when I was really stressed out about, maybe losing my job, um, I was able to keep going, to keep pushing forward. I unfortunately I kind of fell off the wagon in terms of food. Uh, I've used that as a way to self-soothe for, when I'm in stressful situations for a long time. That's something that I'm working on. And also the fact that I just didn't have the excess energy to exercise. Um, has been challenging. So those are the challenges that I'm facing and striving to improve on. And I'm going to get better over time. Um, I'm going to see if I can figure out some ways to help lose weight. There are some people out there who are doing some really interesting work on that, and I'm going to keep abreast of how they're doing, and maybe experiment a bit myself and see if I can help figure things out, not only for myself, but for everybody else as well. So, um, let's see. I did want to talk a little bit about, uh, so I mentioned that I'm starting to see clients and just having a great time doing that. And I've gotten to the point where I've been seeing clients, Friday afternoons and Saturdays, because I have a regular 9 to 5 job, or have a regular day job. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a physician assistant. I work in a pain management clinic, Monday through Friday. Now, the nice thing about the clinic is that we only work half days on Fridays, and I've reached a point where I'm seeing enough clients uh, consistently in, that I'm comfortable dropping Fridays at my day job. So I'll be available starting July 21st. Starting Friday, July 21st, I will be available all day, Fridays and Saturdays. So if you've been having a little bit of an issue getting on my schedule, it's not completely full yet, but it's getting to that point. And thank you for that, by the way. I'll have some more availability on Fridays. It's also, I think, will take some of the stress off of me, because working 5 days, working 4.5 days, and then coming home and doing this has also been a bit stressful, even though it's the good kind of stress. So my goal is to eventually reach a point where I'm seeing enough clients that I can do this full time, and I can quit my day job and really focus on this. Any help you can give me on that, I would greatly appreciate, of course. But I think as we grow, as these ideas become more accepted, as people see the value of the toxic bile theory, I think that's going to become more and more possible. One thing I did want to talk about, something that Dr. Smith and I have been just started discussing a little bit last week, is he asked me about maybe doing some additional services. And um and the what he'd mentioned was maybe ordering some additional testing for people who wanted it, maybe some other kind of more medical things. I'm still researching what I would need to do that, for because I'm only licensed in Washington State, and I need to see what I'll be able to do for people who are not in Washington State, and or ways that I can work around that legally. Um, but if there are other things that you would like to get from us that you're getting from your regular doctor right now, or other healthcare providers, please let us know. Either put it in the comments here, or on the network. You can message me directly if you've got something that, or send a message to Dr. Smith or to Julie about other services that you would be interested in. And if we get enough response, and this is something that people want, then we'll see what we can do to make it happen. We want to give you everything that we can, everything that we're capable of giving to you in terms of service to help you get healthy. We want to be able to do. So please let us know if you've got thoughts or ideas or services, specifically services that you would like that you're willing to pay for. Because we have to get money for this so that we can continue to do it, so that we can do it. So if there are things that you'd like to have us do that you're willing to pay us to do, then please let us know what those would be. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is, now that I'm going to be free all day on Fridays, I'll be working all day on Fridays. I will also be starting to do office hours. Now, this is not just for the clients who have seen me. This is for anybody who has a package. If you've seen Dr. Smith, but you can't get to his office hours because of work or whatever, you can't get to him on Thursdays, but you can get to him on Fridays. Please feel free to come and ask questions or to listen. I can't promise that I will be able to give as in-depth or as complete answers as Dr. Smith does, because he's been doing this way longer and knows a whole lot more about it than I do. But I will give you the best answers that I can. And if I don't know, I will tell you, and I will find out the answer, and I will get back to you. So that will be Friday afternoons at 3 o'clock Pacific time. And I believe that'll be starting in the beginning of August. I don't want to give out a date just yet, because I don't know what we're going to do in terms of an official announcement. I just want to kind of give you a heads up that that's coming. And we'll do an official announcement so that everybody knows when to do it, how to sign up, how to RSVP, all the stuff that you're doing for Dr. Smith's office hours. It'll be the same process as far as I know for mine, but that will also be available. So you'll actually have 3 opportunities to sit on to get office hours per week from now on. So that's pretty much all I've got. I hope this was informative. I'm sorry that it's been a while since I've done this, but life happens. So my goal is to do these a little more regularly again, to help you see my process and see how I'm doing. I'd appreciate any comments, questions, concerns, complaints, whatever you've got. I'm having a wonderful time working with clients and interacting with people in the network. I haven't been very active on the network just because I've been so busy. I'm going to make an effort to try to be a little more active. So, but feel free to message me directly anytime you wish. All right. So, this is Nathan Weens, the apprentice nutrition detective. Have a wonderful Independence Day. Have a great week, and take care.